Testing. There we go. Welcome up, man, to Instagram, Facebook, Burr, Apartment Investor Secrets. Welcome to another episode for Broke to Millions, live with Mike Ealy, baby. Thank you so much for joining us, man. This is a podcast for those who are, whether you're a beginner or experienced, whether you only done one burr, you've done 100 burrs, whether you want to learn how to do wholesaling to hotels. We have all that information right here because we're the #1 real estate experts giving real solutions. But first, man, let me give you a shout out to my man, Walt Potty the Piper on the audio and visual. What's up, brother?
What's happening? What's happening?
It's all good, man. How you been?
Man, I'm chilling, man. You know, I'm still riding the high of the Burr conference.
Was
man.
the Burr? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Burr conference is fantastic.
Man, it was cool getting to meet people that you see on the live and the mastermind all the time.
We got to see Mastermind. We got to see the Burr Academy. Hey, man, you know what? We gave out a lot of books. We gave a lot of shirts. We sold a lot of books. We sold a lot of shirts. Man.
We did.
And so, you know what? This podcast is brought to you from Broke to Millions, man. So if you haven't got your book now, man, get your book from Broke to Millions, from broketomillions.com. Get your book now, man. Well, let's share all the insights. I'll share my ups and my downs. I'll show you really how to calculate, how to do no money down deals, how to find the good in deals, how to find the bad in deals, how to structure your deals. Whatever you want to learn about doing investments, go from broketomillions.com, man. From broketomillions.com. And next up, man, we got my man, the Asian Persuasion, my man, Wendell the Guzman.
All right, guys. This show is also sponsored by Heineken. Okay. So anyway, Mike, this is
I told people they thought I was on stage. I was like, now you're gonna see Win and maybe myself drinking a beer. So don't that's how it goes down around here, man.
Yep.
And Walt in the background.
Yeah.
Well, in the background, right. And
Ingram. He's Ingram's behind the scenes, man. He's getting us all set up, man. Go ahead, Win.
And I don't have COVID, which is awesome.
That is good, man.
All
good
right.
for you.
All right, guys. So today we are going to talk about how you scale up from 1 unit to 400 units.
Oh my goodness. Is that possible?
Okay, well, we have several mastermind members who were able to do that. And you've helped some people actually do that with just one transaction, right?
Yes, we did. One transaction. We've helped people do that.
Yep. So
we're going to share the secret of that right here.
Yep. So 1 mindset shift and 3 things that you need to do. So very important. And then you can ask all the questions that you guys have. And then lastly, the most important part of the show, at least for me, is Mike's millionaire mindset, right? So
absolutely.
So if you have your mindset right, then you can accomplish all of these. But if you don't believe that this would work for you, then it doesn't matter. Even if you listen to this again and again, or you read all the books or whatever, nothing will happen. So mindset is very important. So Mike will help you have the right mindset too at the very end of the show. And guys, tell us where you're from, and we will choose one of you to win. What's the prize? A Broke to Millions t-shirt.
They get it from Broke to Millions t-shirts, right, man. Hey, for those of you that attended the Burr, man, hit us up, man. Tell us how you thought about the Burr.
Yeah,
if you attended anybody Apartment Best Secrets, we got Phoenix checking in. Tell us where you're from, and if you attended the Burr, what were your thoughts about it as well, man? Well, let's get this started as well, man. But man, we got Richmond, Hunt, man.
Martin from Dallas.
Simone, I think Simone was talking about Huntsville. Huntsville is like the place to be. It's growing like crazy. Simone, am I wrong or right? But everybody's telling me about Huntsville. I was like, man, get the flock out of here. Nothing's happening. They got NASA, they got Facebook, and all these other different companies moving to Huntsville.
Really?
And it's a lot of development going on. And then I was like, no way. And then I called who did I call? I called John Kosman.
Oh, John.
And he was like, yes, it is. Yeah, Simone was like, yeah, it's crazy. So the Burr event was great. That was Rob checking in. Oh, Gooch.
Was that your best John Kosman impression? Yes, it is.
Yeah, John has this Very nice voice.
Yeah. He's got that radio voice.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. The conference was life-changing. I've never been to so many. Yeah, man. There was just a lot of great information, man. I'm so glad that you guys really enjoyed it. And we just gave information we thought that you guys could really utilize, man. Yeah. Oh, Super Bobby in the building. In the building.
That's Bobby. What's your last name? Lopez.
There you go.
Right, Bobby Lopez.
All right. So love the bird, Pittsburgh. So let's get this started, man. Let's show them what it's about. How to go to 0 to 400. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know how to go from one rental to 400. Is that realistic? I mean, come on, man. I don't want to sell pipe dreams. Are we about to tell them something real?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go.
Anything is possible if you have the right mindset and the right people.
Man, here we go. Right where we already did it. Go to the next one. Yep. There. See, they lucky I ain't rocked that shirt. If you haven't known me, man, I've been investing since 1999. I lost everything in 2002, 2003. Now we own 1,500 units, 40 houses, warehouses, and we got a few developments, and we find this stuff on the water now. We're starting to develop projects on the water, and we're going all in. And we have I want to call it app or platform that's coming out to help you guys with social media. Some of you guys are getting out there doing social media, post Reddit. If you haven't heard about it, it's going to be the new biggest thing. It's really, really, really big. Post ready. So those are starting to do social media. You need this platform. It schedules everything so you can, some of you guys having problems being inconsistent. Guess what? You can create so much content for a month and just post it, put it on the scheduler, and it will post it on all your social media pages for you. You need it. You got to have it. We'll talk more about that. But let's go. Let's get this started. So the biggest thing to going from 1 to 400 is the mindset.
Yep.
The mindset is everything. You know, it's really simple. Let's keep it real simple. If you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. So just changing the thought process and taking action and putting steps forwards to where you want to go, that will change the game. But it all starts with a mindset. It's a decision. You know, so many people, don't get me wrong. I understand there's mental health and everything, but you have to make the decision that you want to be happy. You have to make a decision that you want to be wealthy. You have to make the decision that you want a change. And it all starts with the mindset. So let's get into 3 things here. What are our 3 things?
But first, the mindset change.
Yes. Here's the mindset change you need to make. One of the first simple things is stop doing everything yourself. Oh my gosh. If I were to keep trying to do all these deals by myself, I would never, ever get this done. There's no way possible I could have done a hotel deal all by myself. We've done apartment deals by ourselves, and it was a challenge. Mm-hmm. But when we start bringing construction managers in, when we start bringing property managers that are skilled at what they're doing, you're talking about a conference that was life-changing. Doing deals were life-changing. Now we have more time to dedicate back to our families and building wealth and doing it with a system. You guys want to be the big deal maker. You know, a lot of deals that I've done, I put everybody together.
Yep.
That's my gift. I can find deals and I could put people together. And me and Nate, we've done really great at that and made a lot of money. Matter of fact, with our partners, because we brought deals and they brought us deals and we put it all together, we just netted $800,000 a piece. It was a 5 million net.
Mm. Oh, this building.
The 130. We just did 133 units. It's about 162, 163.
Nice.
128 units. I'm sorry. Because we had so many, we had somebody working with investor relations. We had somebody doing the construction manager. We had somebody bring the deals together. We had somebody managing the financing. Or somebody put the deal together. Somebody went and got the loan. Everybody walked away with $800,000, and it was for 5 partners.
Mm. Is this the one?
5 times 8. That's $4 million.
Nice.
We all walked away with $4 million, a total of $4 million payout.
Is Gaspar one of the
Gaspar is one of them.
Nice, nice.
Yes, that ain't even yes.
One of our mastermind members.
Yeah, it's a surprise. I didn't hope he's not listening because because we had to deposit the check the other day. He's going to get his check. You know what? Now here's the great thing about that deal. We already bird it. We already returned their principal.
Nice.
They already received their principal months ago, maybe a year ago.
What? That's awesome.
We already got all our money back.
That's amazing.
Now you're about to get the end result. All right, so let's go to the next one. So your role as a big deal maker is, look, there's multiple roles. You know, so many of my students, they come in thinking they want to do everything. You can't. It's overwhelming. And all the information that you're dealing with could be overwhelming. Like you got to find a deal, right? Then once you find a deal, you got to raise private capital, right? Then once you find the private capital, you need somebody that can operate it. Then after you do that, you may not have the net worth when you first starting off going into your big deal. So then you need somebody to sign debt. You got to put the team together. Look, when you go to matter of fact, when you go to our executive summaries, where our bios, where we talk about our projects, you look at me, everybody knows that I'm the deal maker, but I don't even put my name on there like that. When you go to our executive summary, I'm the financial analyst. And I put all these other people that skill set outshines mine in that particular area. And because of that, because of my team, we've advanced.
Yep.
Yes, I'm the guy that pushes together, but it's because of my team, we've been able to do big deals and scale up. So look, man, and if you want to do a big deal, guess what? All I do is bring the players. Somebody brought me a deal in Jamaica now.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, Byron brought a deal in Jamaica.
One of our mastermind members.
30 acres. I think we're going to go after it. Nice. I mean, it's a sweet deal. They need $1 million. Well, we can raise that or put it out, or I'll put my own money up, right? Then we need somebody to sign debt. The way they got it structured is I can sign the debt. So I'm the credit partner. Nice. I would bring in operators, third party, and then we'll go to the brothers or someone else to raise capital.
And we need about 12 million total, you said?
That project will be 30, but they're going to end up getting bonds and some private financing. We may not have to bring that much because, and then they're throwing in the land. So that's 12 million. Yes, we would only need to bring about 12 million, 12 to 15 million.
And this will be worth you showed me the numbers. I was like, what? 150
Yeah, it was about $150 million bill.
Like, wow.
But did I do it myself? No, it's not possible. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yep.
But the big thing is you got to change your mindset from, man, I don't know if I can do that, to it's possible. And I see other people doing it. You know, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with burning single family homes. We all started there. But when an opportunity comes, you know, I always say you're one big deal away, man. I mean, dude, the whole team netted $4 million. How many houses you got to flip to get to $4 million?
Yeah, your entire lifetime probably will not be enough.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's out there flipping a house and made $4 million, but that's very, very small.
Right. And also, I'd like to add, this is part of the mindset shift, right? So, guys, and I know a lot of you listening, you know, you do houses, right? You buy and sell houses, you burn houses, right? And it's like you're comfortable with that. But what I learned from Mike and Nate is that, you know, the real wealth doesn't come from being comfortable. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, you know? And if you expand your mindset so that you're not limited by your limitations, then you can truly live an unlimited life, right? Because then you can set a goal, even though when I talked with Mike and Nate, which is what 5 years ago, and then they told me the goal, oh, you want to own $1 billion worth of assets. I was like, really? Can you do that? I was like, I couldn't believe that these two guys, you know, can actually do it. But then the more I look at how they did things, it's like, oh man, yes, 1 billion is really doable. They're really doing it, you know?
Well, you just put $1 billion project together that we're putting the infrastructure together now. So guys, look, you got to start speaking and you got to start putting yourself around people that's doing it. And then listen, In college, we said it's better to cheat than repeat. But as you get older, they say modeling. You just model.
Yes,
And
that's
all
how-
we're doing is modeling existing platforms that have been successful and then and putting it in and putting in the work. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yep.
Now, although this sounds very similar, but this is I just told you of one that we just closed on last week. This is a completely different deal. This is a deal that, matter of fact, this is the building. We bought this building where I'm shooting right now. It used to be, which is my office, which is a portfolio. It was a portfolio of 137 units. We bought it for, I think we bought all of that for $1 million something.
Million, yeah, like below 8,000 per
Yeah,
door,
but we were all
which is
in for
great.
like 1, 2. We refied it, we bird it, we paid all the investors off. Matter of fact, it was like 3 or 4 different complexes in the deal. The 153 unit portfolio, when we refied, paid everything off. Just the 53 units. Us refining the 53 units created so much value that it paid everything off, and we had our other buildings free and clear.
Nice.
And then we sold it. $5 million profit.
One deal, guys. One deal.
One deal.
How many years will you work to earn 5 million with single family homes?
Mind blowing. Major key.
Major.
Major key.
Man, you know, I ain't heard the horns in around. Give me some of them horns, man.
Yeah, but
Who
guys,
who on here wants to do 5 million? Yes or yes?
raise your hand in the
Is
chat,
it is
guys.
this doing apartments? Yes or yes, right? Start believing you can do 1 million or 5 million. Yes or yes. That's all I need. You got to start saying yes to things. Start moving toward it, taking action, changing your mindset. That's it. The only, like I said, I shared with people before, the only difference between me and other people, again, there's people that are much more smarter than me. Now, I'm more wiser nowadays, but there's people that know much more in detail. But the reason I'm more successful than them, the reason I'm more wealthier than them is because I just took action. A lot of them are afraid to take steps and move forward into trying a deal and making a mistake. And here's the reality. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how bold you are. I don't care how dumb you are. You're going to make mistakes. The difference is you just got to pick yourself up and do it again. And you just keep doing it over and over until you finally get it. I wish there was some other secret sauce. I wish there was some other secret sauce, but it's not. Let's go to the next one. Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. But Mike, when you partner with people, you only get a very small slice of the pie. That might be right. That might be right. You only, but listen, guys, would you rather go to the next one? Would you rather have a small piece of the pie or nothing?
No pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
100% of a tiny pie, which is like a sliver, right? Or a tiny piece of a big pie, right? So,
Yeah. Let's go over this. So do deals on your own with no partners. You have 100% of $1 million portfolio, and that portfolio earns you $80,000 a year after debt service, which is not bad.
yeah,
You know,
it's actually really good. If you have that.
and you're dealing with the tenants, toilets, and trash. Now, look, that's a small deal, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you step up and do a bigger deal, now you got a portfolio of 100 million and you own 10%, and that portfolio owns 6 million a year.
After that.
And after debt, and you own 10%, that's 600,000 a year in revenue for you.
Yep. And you have a team doing all the work, meaning you don't have to deal personally with tenants, toilets, and trash, right?
Is 600,000 a nice passive income to live off? Yes or yes? I don't mind making 600,000 a year.
Totally,
Now here's
totally passive. Yeah.
Who would like to make 600,000 a year? Now here's the crazy thing. Once you make 600,000, it's not enough.
That's crazy, Mike.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to like it's enough. And you know what? You can retire making 600,000. You can really take care of your
You're
family.
not trying to downplay the situation.
Yeah.
You're just saying that there's more there.
Thank you, brother.
There
You
go,
get it.
there you
He's
go.
been with us long enough.
Well said.
My point is more there. You're supposed to live the abundant life. You don't have to die to get to heaven, baby. You can have heaven right now.
Jay said, is that Jay? Me. The chat, me.
All right, so let's go on to the next one. I think they get the picture now. Your action step network with these people. Remember, I always talk about it. You know, now Jonas Weiss, he was there. He's our
Yona,
yeah. What Yona does, the cost segregation. That's my Jewish guy, man. I love Jonas. Jonas is one of the greatest guys. He always talk about your net worth is your network is your net worth, and I just go in. It's very important that you network with multiple people and find like-minded people as yourself. And look, keep interviewing until you find the right one. And some of you are like, well, when will I know the one? You'll know. When you got the same, talking about the same information and you're not worried about it, you got a good vibe, roll with them. All right. Mm-hmm. But some of the people you need in your network, experienced apartment syndicators. Why do you need experienced apartment syndication? You know why? Because when you got a deal, they raise that money immediately.
Yep. They have the experience, so they know how to raise money.
They know how to avoid the stay in line with the SEC laws, SEC code violations, and so you don't have the FBI knocking at your door. All right. You wanna put private investors in your group, right? Yeah, you may. Now syndicators. When we start syndication, I'm starting to talk about raising more than $2 million. And you're starting to use more than 10 people, right? That's kind of syndication. I mean, syndication really is, even if you raise 500,000, you got.
I mean, technically, as long as you have investors who are passive, like completely passive in the deal, unless they are lenders are different. But if they're equity investors, technically you should syndicate. Absolutely. Even if it's like two investors,
You want to get commercial real estate brokers. A lot of commercial real estate brokers still rock with us to this day and still sending us deals. They're so essential. And here, what you got to do is when they give you a deal and you're ready to take action, close the deal. Close the deal. Don't waste nobody's time. Just get it done. Property managers. Now, Tim Vest, man, well, you need a property manager, period, right? Because they're going to operate it more efficient. Well, let me just say they're going to have the people to help operate. You're still going to have to communicate. You're still going to have to dialogue. You're still going to have to set certain goals for that third party. But a lot of times, if you get the right third party, you can really be hands off and only check in once a month.
Right.
Who would like to only check in once a month? Right. Now, I'm not saying not to check the money. You can check the money and deposits every day. I suggest checking the money and deposits every day. But literally, like if I wanted to with our hotels, they run that efficiently enough that I could check in once a month. It's just I'm interactive in our deals.
More hands-on.
Yeah, but I'm bringing in third asset managers to kind of take my place. So why? So I can scale and buy more. All right. You want real estate attorneys. You really need an attorney. Once you start playing in this game, you got to have an attorney. And I know we want to be cheap, right? And some of you start off with small deals and be like, man, that dude wanted $300 an hour. Now, just because somebody's charging $300-400, $300 to $400 an hour doesn't mean they're good, but you're going to start paying attorneys like that. And I don't care. Let them read the documents and go over it. Let me tell you something. Just here's a small example. We signed a confidential agreement for a group to raise money for us. And in there, they wanted it to be exclusive. And I missed it. My attorney didn't. And she went back and restructured that deal. But if we would have stuck with that deal, I would have been stuck and I couldn't even raise money for my own deal.
Oh, wow. Jill saw
Yeah,
that?
Jill took care of that.
Nice. This is why Jill is worth like 1,000 an hour.
Yeah, we paid Jill. Jill get like about 300 to 400 an hour at least.
Yeah.
So,
she's worth it.
I complain about her invoices every month. Don't get me wrong. I'd be like, Jill, if you send me another invoice, but she saves me so much money.
Yeah.
All right. But I'd be like, Jill, don't you send me another invoice. Killing me. You're killing my pockets, son. Let's go on to the next one. But how do you get experienced investors to partner with you? Man, it's simple. Provide value. A lot of people wonder like, man, I'm just getting started. Where can I get my foot in the door? I'm always talking about educating. But the other big thing is some of you don't know where to go. You know what? You can intern for free. That's providing value. When I first started, I wanted to learn development, and I got with one of the largest low-income tax credit developers in the city. They did low-income housing. Now, but look, I'm always trying to work away so I can make money at the same time. They actually had a brokerage firm for realtors. So I worked as a realtor under this brokerage firm. Well, because I was always around them listening in on their developments. And guess what? After being there a while, they saw my hustle. They saw that I like apartments. They actually gave me my first deal. Well, not my first deal, but my first large apartment deal.
That's the 28 units in
Over the Run in the West End. I was in the West End. Some of you know Cincinnati, some of you don't. West End and Over the Run now is one of the largest or the most known small parts of city nationwide. It's like a top ranked place to be in the country now. And I was there when it was all low income and people were shooting and looting. Right?
Yeah, I remember that. Like every other block, there's a guy wearing this long shirt, dealing drugs.
Man, it was doing more than that.
Every other block's like, wow, this is
no lie.
For real.
So this picture you see behind me, some of you may not be able to see it now, but this picture right here, Gilbert Young, famous artist, Cincinnati. If you're looking back, that's that picture right there. Gilbert came to visit me. Look, he's out of town from Atlanta. He pulls in, parks the car, coming him off. The next thing you know, pow, 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 he got his window shot out. Oh, like that was the kind of neighborhood we was in.
Yep.
And it wasn't that they were shooting him. They were just, he was in the wrong. He was just in the, yeah, they were just shooting. But my point is, I was in this office and they shared all that information openly. And I helped them in any kind of way. I offered my services. I provided value. And then guess what? They came to me and was like, Mike, you like apartment buildings? I was like, yeah. It was like, well, I got this building. I don't have time to manage it. I feel bad for this guy. You can manage it and take over. And then guess what? It has reserves. It has over 16,000 in reserves. You can use that to fix it up and get it up and rent it. And then you manage it. And then if you like it, you buy it. And I was like, wait a minute, what you talking about, Willis? And they said,
and they even offered to buy it from you, right?
Yeah, they was like,
buy it back from you.
It was like, and we'll buy it back from you. I was like, man, get out of here. And that's exactly what they did. I fixed this building up with their own reserves. And then when I didn't have any more, I probably put 2,000 or 3,000 in. I offer 4 tenants that paid my mortgage note.
Out of 28 units.
Out of 28 units. But it was a challenge. Like I said, it was in DNF neighborhood. So I had to use different marketing. I used guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is basically literally, I was putting signs because look, a lot of people didn't have internet then. Well, people had internet, but not them, not that neighborhood. And so wherever they hang out, like the Family Dollar, the bars, I had those rip off with the numbers.
Liquor store, bro.
Yeah, all the stores and posted there. He wrong for that. You are wrong for that, bro.
Sorry, man, but right?
Yeah. There ain't no liquor store down there, man.
I used to own a property in that F neighborhood, so I know, man, I know.
Hey, when you own a property in the F neighborhood, they say you effed up.
Yep, F up. I was F up, man.
Yeah, but
I didn't know what I was doing.
No, but
I wish I knew Mike at that time. I would be like,
yeah,
that property would have made $1 million.
no, well,
Had I known Mike and Nate at that time.
I mean, long story short, we were all in. I bought this property for $7 a door, and I think I sold it for $12 a door. So 5 times 30. Yeah, I made 150 grand.
Nice.
I think I made more. No, I made 200. I was all in, and I was teaching a class. You're like, well, how'd you get the money? I was teaching a class, and I had a student that became one of my main investors. He was like, Mike, I got 700,000. I don't want to do all that work. Here's some money. I just want to make 10, 11% on my money. It was like, deal. Not a problem.
Nice.
Not a problem. And so, yeah, I mean, so guys, these are the things that you can do to get into bigger deals. Share your knowledge, provide value. And guess what? Whatever you do comes back to you 100-fold. It's like tithing. If you tithe with your money, if you give with your money, it'll come back 100-fold. If you give your time and education, it will come back. I promise you, the more you share what you do, the more you share your success, the more you share some of your failure. Well, don't share too many. If you got some failures, have some success stories. Because if you share too many failures, I don't think nobody's going to mess with you. Okay?
When you share your failures, right? You share what you learned and what are the changes you made so that now you are more successful. So there's a certain art in sharing your failures.
Man, we got so many great people. We got Tico checking in. We got Roberto here. We got Simone, Laurent, Christy,
Jose, Monique,
everybody.
We got some people with their hands up here.
Oh, we got people. We're gonna come to the questions. So hang in there, Bobby, Brandy, hang in there. I think we got 2 more slides, and I'm gonna answer questions.
No, we have more than that.
Oh, we got more than that.
Yeah.
How much time we got? Okay. Do we want to take questions now? Take a break.
No. Let's move
Keep
on
going.
because
Right.
it will explain probably some of the questions they have.
All right, let's go. We're gonna answer all these questions. Come on, let's keep going. We provide value. All right, but how do you provide value? I think we explained this. Learn how to. Well, now here's some other one in detail. Learn how to find and analyze deals, large apartment and hotel deals. Because listen, now I listen to people when they bring me a deal. I say, well, give me certain information, and if they can't, I kind of don't talk to them about it. Right.
That's true.
I don't have a lot of time. So I need people to understand what's the value, how much it's worth, and why it's a good deal. The other thing is you got to learn how to attract and persuade private investors to invest in your deals. You need money, right? It don't have to be your money. Look, people are, always talk about no money down. It don't have to be your money, but you have to think outside the box. You need to use OPM, other people's money. And then your team, contractors, property management, maintenance, all these things are essential on how to provide value. All right. When I did that deal, I was able to manage a property that they didn't want.
That's true.
I added value. And because of that, they came back and bought it. And I was able to raise money. I was able to analyze the deal. So I knew the value in it. All these things are essential in making the things come back. All right, let's go to the next one. If you know how to find and analyze large apartment hotel deals, investors want to partner with you. John Castman is one of our coaches. Man, he learned how to analyze the deal, and all he did was he was a big deal maker, and he raised money for this 104 unit in Louisville. He paid a premium for it. It's already created much more value.
Yeah, because he knows how to spot value in a deal like that, where other investors see it's like, you know what, this is overpriced. They move on, but John was able to what's the story here? Where
I mean, but he didn't. But on this deal, he knew the value of this deal, this property. He didn't do anything but increase the rent. He didn't do any renovations, no painting. No, nothing.
Nice.
Increase rent and create a couple of million in value.
Yeah, and then he put in the right management too.
Absolutely. Because he had a team.
Right.
If you know how to attract and persuade private investors, you can experience with Tim Vest and Robert Musso. I mean, these guys went in 12 to 18 months, 800 units. You heard me talk about Tim.
Yeah.
And this is Rob, who also worked with him as well.
And one of our mastermind members too.
Now, all of them work together and raise capital together. Let's go on the next one.
Right. But the nice thing though about that is because now they learn how to raise private capital to our mastermind. They implemented that. They got a lot of investors, right? And then now other apartment syndicators approach them with the deals.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, guys, again, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Right
now, now because I'm sharing knowledge, I'm sharing what I do. I shared the deals. I shared my success. I share where other people can gain success off my failures. Now people really appreciate, in my inbox now, I'm getting so many people like, hey, I raise money for LP. I raise LP money.
Right. That's true.
I couldn't find no money, but when I just start sharing, that's when it comes. That's why you need to do social media and you get post ready. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Yeah, Keisha Kennedy. She's doing the same thing. And then look, Keisha was a perfect example. She was trying to do everything herself.
Right.
And then finally, literally, she was like, damn this, I ain't doing all this work. I can't keep analyzing, then go look at the deal, this and that. She finally said, you know what? I'm gonna let somebody bring me a deal. And then they did. And then what happened? Somebody said, you think you can raise money? And she did. She was like, you know what? I like this. I'd rather just deal with the investor. I'll look at the team and I'll analyze it for myself. And it makes sense. I'll go raise money. And she's been raising money and taking ownership in these deals. And guess what? All she did was raise the money. She's not dealing with the tenants, toilets, and trash. She's not dealing with the maintenance. She's not dealing with anything. She's just dealing with her investors.
Yep.
Let's go on to the next one.
And over 500 units in 18 months, Mike.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A group of investors partnered with us on this 500 apartment unit deal. They helped raise capital. And all we did was do they managed and we did the renovations. That's what we do. Me and Nate did that. Matter of fact, when these guys was like looking for 1,000 units, me and Nate was like, we don't want to do that. But because we're getting into more hotels, but we can help you find that. And that's exactly what happened.
And you did that in just 12 months,
yeah.
Right? For Venture.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Venture, there you go.
They were thinking they'll achieve that in 5 years. And you have them achieve 1,000 units in 1 year.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Let's go on to the next one. And then we'll be ready to take questions. So look, if you want to be a big deal maker, join our mastermind. Text mastermind to Steve at 561-889-8135, 561-889-8135. I think we're about to start taking questions. So like I said, you want to
just keep that
okay.
Slide there, Walt.
All right.
And it's by application only, guys. We'll accept only 4 digits.
Let's take some questions now.
Okay.
Where we got questions at? People got their hand raised. Do we want to bring them in? Let's go. There's the
Q&A question from Peter.
All right, well, Craig, we're going to answer the Q&A and then we're going to go to the people to raise their hands as well. You can type it in the chat or you can raise your hand and we'll pull you on.
All right.
All right,
question
let's
from
go.
Peter Zioli. I can find the deals and my knowledge is on point, but my problem is finding funding. Would it be more in person, try and meet these people, or online?
Man, however, your market, like you can find capital online. A lot of my deals are investors now. I know it doesn't seem like personal, but I found so many more investors online. I'm sharing them with my content. And then other syndicators call me wanting to do deals. It's fine to do it in person, but man, ever since COVID, that really changed how we do business.
Right.
And what the good thing about doing it online, some people surprisingly, at least the young ones, they don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, I'm giving you $100,000, but I don't want to talk to you. What's that about, right?
Yeah. So no, I mean, it really depends on your market and what you're comfortable with. Martin Cromwell, how do you find financing for a hotel or apartment for a beginner? What does the down payment and loan look like? Okay, so if you're financing a hotel and apartment, I'm gonna do this separately. for apartments, a typical loan to value is 75% to 80% loan to value. So typically, you're going to have to put 20% down or 25% down for your loan. All right. And that's typically how the deal works. Okay. For a loan. If you get into hotels, they're going to look for 30% down and they'll lend you 70%. Now, then it depends on if you're going what we call recourse and non-recourse. All right. So recourse means you're responsible for the loan. If they lend you, if you're doing a $10 million loan and they give you 70% loan to value, that means they lend you $7 million. If that loan defaults, you're 100% responsible for it. If you get what they call a non-recourse loan, then you won't be responsible. So if you were to default or whatever, this deal went to hell, you just hand over the keys, but they will have what they call these bad boy carve outs. As long as you attempted to pay, you paid the taxes, you did this, and you just didn't starve the project out, they'll reward you and let you go. All right. Now, the difference between non-recourse and recourse, some non-recourse, this interest rate is going to be a little higher, not much, but a little. For example, if a recourse loan is at 4.5, a non-recourse might be at 5.5 or 6. All right. So for a beginner, I mean, the big thing is I shared at the conference, make sure your accounting is in order. You got to have your PFS, personal financial statement, your balance sheet. And that balance sheet is really a global real estate REO, making sure you have all your scheduled real estate so they understand what you own. Right.
But Martin, the one who asked the question, you cannot get financing if you're a beginner. You got to partner with other people, right? You got to have, experienced apartment or hotel investors. And when I say investors, these are not just passive investors, but actually people who own apartments or hotels, and still do. You need the experience. So that's why the mastermind is so great, because, you can partner with people with experience, like John. Like Keisha partnered with John Casmon, right? On her first deal. And because of that, she was able to put an asset under management, that the first deal that she invested in. And once she has that experience, quote unquote, now investors flock to Keisha and say, hey, here's 100 grand, 50 grand, whatever. Invest my money in your next deal, because investors love to invest with people who are experienced. Okay. So this is why, again, that mindset shift, do not do everything by yourself, is very key here.
All right, Jay, finally getting to you, brother. If Jay says, if I have a deal for 8-unit multifamily or residential apartment, anywhere from 30 to 200 doors, and as a foreign national, when I get it on a deal with 60% of appraised value, would lender be willing to lend me money based on appraised value without me or any partners putting any down payment?
No, you need some down payment. Well, but not necessarily your money. That's the thing. Right?
Yeah, it all depends. Like if you're doing 60% and you have value, or residential anywhere, the bottom line is they're probably going to want you to put some money down. There's some money that's going to need to be put down, whether it's, if you get a 60%, they're going to want to see 40%. Now, what they may be willing to do, where you don't have to raise any capital, you could potentially use other properties that you may own free and clear as collateral, and then they'll fund you to 60, and then they'll put up your other property as collateral, and then that'd be considered your down payment, and that's how you acquired an 8-unit or your 30 to 200 doors. When I first started, and I was working with a hard money lender, and to this day, his numbers ain't changed. He's still charging 14.99% with 5 points. And he always required 10% down. And he would lend on the after repair value. So let's say I did a deal at the time, it was 100 grand. It was worth 100 grand. I bought it for 50. And it needed another 20,000 in repairs, right? So that, it was worth, I needed $70,000 to do the deal. Well, 10% requires me to bring $7,000. Well, I had a couple of properties free and clear. So they allowed me to use that. One of my properties that was worth 30,000 as collateral. And then he brought me the loan, and then I didn't have to put any money down at all. All right. So those are some of the things that you can do without putting a down payment. Now, if you already own the property, cash, free and clear, or you might have owned it with a temporary loan and you created value, then yes, they'll probably refinance it without you bringing any money. Okay. Ron here, I hope I'm saying this right, Hiera. When trying to raise capital for a project, are you raising for the full project cost or just the down payment portion, and use financing and hard money for the rest? That is absolutely correct. Ron, what you have is what we call a capital stack. So when you get into properties, you got your senior debt, or the initial first mortgage in layman's terms. Then after you do that mortgage, then you require equity, whatever it is. It could be 30%, 40%, 25%, 20% down, whatever that is. But then you start filling in the capital stack with different monies. You can use what they call mezzanine financing, which is another way of a sophisticated way of saying second mortgage. All right. So you can get a first mortgage, or what they call senior debt, then mezz financing, which goes on top, which is a junior mortgage or secondary mortgage, and they would go 10 to 15%. So if you had 70%, then you had this mezz at another 15%, you had a total of 85% loan to value. Then you need to raise 15% in equity. So no, you don't have to raise all the cash to do the project. But when you're doing bigger projects, once you start getting over $1 million, $2 million, I'm not saying you can't do the deal cash. There's still a lot of people doing it. But once you start getting $2 to $5 million, you don't want to tie up all that money to do the deal. Now, again, I'm saying that my deal in Florida, I acquired the property and everything, and we did it $7 million cash. But I'm immediately about to go refi, pull that money out so I can finish doing the rest of the project and pull money out or get some more private investors.
Nice.
All right.
Here's a good question from Greg.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're new and had $1 million to invest, how would you do it? And what type of cash and cash income could you realistically expect in X amount of time?
Well, that's good, Greg. There's two ways of doing that, man. You can play it safe. Go find you a deal that's $1 million or less, and you should make at least 10%. All right, 10%, that's 100 grand a year. Then guess what? You can refinance it, and that's when you start using the BRRRR and flipping it over and over again, right? So you got your cash and you keep going. You can buy with a multi-unit, man, you could buy a $5 million property with $1 million down. Like at that point, you don't need a partner, unless we need a partner to help, not necessarily partners, but team players. You could go buy a $5 million complex, because you can do it where you only need 20% down. And what is that? That's $1 million, right? So there's $1 million right there. Or
you can invest passively too.
If you're like, I'm too busy, I just want to be passive. It depending on the deal, you can request to be a GP, unless it's a large raise. Now, what does it mean to be a GP, your general partner? So you have some vote in the deal.
Some say in the management.
And you get to take in additional fees. So, as a passive investor, most deals at minimum in 3 to 5 years, you double your money. That $1 million should be $2 million.
5 years. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's totally passive. That is nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, if you did it yourself, you probably will 3x that. So, it just depends on what cash on cash. At minimum, you should be generating 10%. But here's the thing. If you can do 10% and it's really safe, go ahead. But I think you can invest passively and do nothing and get guaranteed 8 to 10%.
Yeah, more.
So why do to be active in the deal, spend all that time and do all the work, put $1 million in, and you still only make 10%.
Yeah.
And you're doing all this work.
Or you can do combination. Yeah. That's a possibility too.
So, but realistically, you should be able to do 8 to 10% and double your money in 3 to 5 years. Now, if you can do a deal for $1 million and 3x it and create a better return, then that's the one you go with.
Yep.
All right. What else we got? Do you think? Oh, somebody asked about the recession. Demetrius.
Oh yeah, Demetrius.
How will the recession change how we do business acquiring apartments and hotels?
It doesn't, or it does in a good way, actually, right?
Well, I mean, the big thing is demand. So I shared before, even though we have a recession in apartments, we still got a high. There's still a big demand for jobs. Even though like jobs, I don't see that decreasing really. There's still a big demand for people to work. There's still a big demand for travel. So I can't say what the difference is. I know what, but matter of fact, the government is trying to cool the market off because it's so hot. The government is increasing the interest rate to stop people from spending so much money. So what I believe is when we get in a recession, it's just more people are cooling off and waiting and saving their money. So I don't think it's going to have a big effect. Although the one big thing is people that did these short-term loans in COVID where they were getting 2% and 3% interest rate, if they didn't increase their rents or if the hotels didn't increase their revenue, when that loan term becomes due, right, where they got to refinance it or restructure it, those existing owners are going to be in trouble. And then there lies the opportunity to acquire a hotel at a discount. Yeah. You say, why is that going to be different? Well, let's just say like this. Here, just to give you an idea. If you borrowed $1 million, right, at 2%, 2.5, because the interest rate was down there, that's $25,000 a year. Okay. And let's say you were making $50,000 a year. After all your expenses, your net was $50,000. So now you're netting additional, you're netting $25,000, which is good, right? But then when that term comes up and the interest rate is at 5%,
then you're not making anything.
So $1 million times 5%, that's $50,000, right? Where's the money at? That's where the opportunity is going to be. You were netting 50,000, but your debt is 50,000. They want to get out of that loan right away. And what's going to affect it, the values are going to drop because if the interest rates are high, that means the property is not high. So you got to reduce the cost so you can get it down. So the expense, the debt will get down so that they actually can be profitable. Does that make sense? All right. Who else we got here?
Related to that, Sulaiman asked, is deal volume slowing down because of interest rates?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's deals that got kicked out. Literally, Kim McElroy, he's a big apartment guy. He rolls with Kiyosaki. Even ours, I know numerous people that had deals. One guy had $100 million deal. Interest rates went up. Price dropped down to 75 million.
What?
Drastic change. Some of those deals are adjusting like that, but drastic change. We backed out of some deals. We didn't necessarily back down. We just said, hey, man, I can't do it at that number anymore because my interest rate won't allow me. So these are the things that you have to look at during a recession. What else we got? We got anything on Instagram? I ain't been paid. Oh, here we go. Jay, there you go. Highlight the benefits of the mastermind. Is it to tech a newbie like myself, essential skills, how to find, analyze deals, as well as how to raise? Okay. Oh, that's Jay. He's like, Jay Sincere said, can you give me the benefits of the mastermind? Is it to teach a newbie like myself the essential skills. We do a little more than teach you the essential skills. And although we do newbies, we don't really take newbies. We want some people to have some skills, that done a couple of deals or own some business, because we want you to be successful. Yes, we do highlight the essentials, but we go much more. Like, you can listen, if you want to go learn how to analyze deals and just kind of understand how it works, look, go get CCIM.com. Go spend 10 grand, 12 grand, go get it. They'll teach you how to analyze a deal. They may teach you how to communicate. They teach you how to do feasibility studies, all essential. These are all essential things you need. I myself did CCIM. I love CCIM. I think this is excellent. Difference with us, we actually teach you how to take action. We give you all the details, all the information, and put you in an environment to succeed. And you actually start doing deals with these individuals.
Yeah. The focus of the mastermind is implementation and collaboration.
Yeah.
So you implement, your coach will guide you, Mike and another coach. Sometimes we have students that actually have two coaches, right? Mike and John, or Mike and Devon, or Mike and Tim. And we guide you on, like, we review your deals. And if the numbers don't make sense, we tell you up front, hey, don't buy this, or offer this instead of, offer 2 million instead of 3 million, right? Or something like that, right? So it allows you to save yourself from a lot of time and effort doing things on your own, because you have guidance. And then we have collaboration, as Mike said, like, people literally do business with each other inside the mastermind. This is how Tim, because he partnered with Robert helped him, they help each other together, and they're able to do 800 units together, So this is not just know-how or knowledge. If that's what you're after, if that's the only thing you're after, then the mastermind is not for you.
I think somebody else question. Walt, you got the apartment investing secret. You scroll down, somebody says, how do I differ? Oh, you went too far. Go back the other way.
Differentiate between scammers and investors.
Yeah, I don't know who asked that. Oh, there you go. Justin, I talked to many different private investors, and most of them just seem too good to be true. How do I differentiate between scammers and real estate investors?
And the ones you see, those are not private investors. Those are private lenders. Like, hey, come in, zero down, we'll lend you $1 million, at 4% interest, even if your credit score is 550. Yeah, those are scammers.
Yeah. No, a private investor is someone that really wants to invest in your deal. These other people are like brokers. So, if they saying I can get you 100 million or 50 million, like, don't mess with them. Especially I'm not saying they can't, but if they said, hey, I need you to put a $10,000, $25,000 application fee, and they ain't even told you nothing, like, don't mess with them.
Yep.
That's a scam. I don't put any money in on a deal until they gave me a letter of intent, and they gave me approval, and they went through all my documents. I've had people reach out like, oh, I can get you 90 million, and I can get it where you don't have to bring any money to the table. I was like, really, for a $90 million deal? Yeah. Okay. What's the catch? We need 50,000. I was like, wait a minute, we ain't even did nothing yet.
Yeah, that's a scam.
Yeah. I won't do it.
Yeah. I mean, a private investor, the true private investor, will be someone like Daniel, for example. Daniel Nguyen, one of the speakers at the Burke conference. You meet the person, you meet him in person, you talk to him, he will ask you questions about your deal, about your experience, and then he's the one who's going to give you money, not the other way around, right?
There you go.
So it's crazy what the scammers that are out there. So anytime you see someone pretend to be a private investor or private lender, and then they ask you for money, for a fee, upfront without anything, as Mike said, then yep, that's a scammer.
All right. Well, man, this was fast today. We're already at an hour.
Oh wow.
Hey, let me look in that Q&A. Is anybody else in there, Walt, in that Q&A? I saw some other ones, hands go up or anything. There's Martin. We'll answer that. Hi, if you have a full-time job in another field but want to do a ground-up apartment, is it feasible to get it done or should I look at investing instead? Man, it depends on the project. And I'm going to tell you now, if this is your first deal, that's challenging. I don't know if I would do a ground-up apartment deal unless you're actually physically building it. Everything's feasible. It's just a matter of what time you want to put into it. Like I got people that work, like, listen, when I first got started, I had to get my money and get my credit straight. I literally was working probably 17 hours in a day. Let's see, I worked from 12 in the morning to about 3 in the morning, throwing newspaper. Then I came home, took a nap, then got back up about 6, 7, and worked from 9 to 5. So that's 8 plus 3, was 11. Then I did another 4 hours working at the stadium, selling ice cold beer. So that's 15 hours, 15, 16-hour days. So it would be challenging to work and do the ground, but people have done it. It just depends on your team, depends on what you put together, depends on how you structure it. All these things are possible, but if you don't have a guy that you can really help do construction, I wouldn't advise it unless you know how to build buildings like that. All right. Robert, I got kicked out. Let me know something, info on this later. Okay. Robert, could you do a breakdown of everything we need as far as paperwork so you don't look unprepared or what we want to be ready for? I guess, Robert, you're asking that for a loan. So things you need when you go for, it's no different than when you apply for a single family loan. It's just, the big thing is your schedule of real estate page. That gets to be different because like on a basic schedule of real estate, they're looking at, the expenses and everything like that, your NOI. This one wants to look at your cap rate you potentially sell it, the potential NOI, the entity that's holding it. They want your taxes for the last 3 years for all your businesses. They want a personal financial statement. They want a balance sheet of all your properties, whether it's a global, and then they want to see all your distributions. When you start having all these documents, they start really taking you seriously, right? And if you have that before you even do it, that makes them want to work with you before. Now, listen, they all want to lend you money, but you got to start, when you start having these information now and having it ready, they roll with you, man. They'll do your deals. What else? What else we got down below? Oh, we got so many. We got to get out of here. Well, thank you, Simone. I'm looking forward to it. I would love to do some deals for you, but you got to get out there. I know that these are the things that you're great at. Cynthia McQueen, looking at multifamily deals in Ohio. If you're interested in potential deals, send me your contact information. Hey, I'm always looking for deals. Greg, for a large amount to invest, would you invest into one deal or divide into, say, 5 smaller deals? Invest it over time and diversify. I do like to diversify, but it all depends on your deal. If it's a hot deal and you know the numbers and it looks good and it works, man, invest in it, right? Like, but have an exit plan. What's your exit strategy? What's your worst case scenario? I have multiple deals, and sometimes I just go all in to close the deal, and then I'll go out, raise capital, cash me back out. All right. So every deal is different here. But hey, this is it, man. I'm sorry we're at our time for the day. I appreciate you guys joining so much, but now it is time for our millionaire mindset.
Now it's time for Mike's millionaire mindset.
Hey guys, one of the things I talked about earlier, man, is just taking action and not quitting. I was watching the game this past week. I don't know if some of you watched. Was it Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins? I was watching that, and my man was killing them. What's the quarterback for Baltimore? We ain't got no football fans, man. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Lamar, thanks. Lamar Jackson, thank you. Lamar Jackson was destroying them. He was throwing touchdowns. He was running 60-yard return, breakaways. And I'm the guy that always say, you'll never win if you quit. I'm sorry, I was guilty. I was like, this game over. It was third quarter, second quarter. They were winning like 35-7 or something. And then all of a sudden, Miami pulled it together. It was 28-7. And then all of a sudden, they start making the connection. They were throwing it to Tua, made his comeback. They wrote Tua off, quite frankly. They wrote him off, but they kept working at it. They didn't stop. And my man Tyreek Hill was just outrunning him. He was just too fast. And he kept working at it, and he broke free. And then Waddle, excessively, he broke free. And my point is, there's going to be a lot of times that you keep failing, but you got to keep running until you break free. And then they'll hit you, man. Somebody's going to hit you. Somebody's going to hit you with the LP money for your deal. Somebody's going to hit you with a deal. Somebody's going to hit you with the property management or the operating team that you need. You just got to keep playing in the game. Because when you quit, that's when it's over. And it could look really bleak. I mean, look, they were sharing. Peter's over here telling me it was the all-time rushing leader for a 100-yard game, broke Michael Vick's record. Can you realize, can you imagine somebody's breaking an all-time record and you still on the field and you're like, man, what am I going to do? I can't win. You just got to keep playing, and I promise you it'll turn around. Appalachian State, they're another one since we're talking about football. They scored 60, 70 points in the game, and they still lost, man. But they came back. They didn't quit. They played like it was no tomorrow, and they won. They called the miracle team. Was it the miracle play? Whatever. My point is, don't quit, guys. Because you're one big deal away. God bless you. God keep you. And guys, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And I love to talk to you more. Just email me at mike@nassauinvest.com, or you DM me on our Facebook page, Apartment Investing Secrets. If you want to learn more about our mastermind group, please just reach out and we'll get you with the right people. And guys, we got some great news. Man, we had so much success at the Bird. We're going to start doing some more in-person events and even more intimate. So they're going to be closed off, and we're going to start sharing. We're going to do one every quarter, and we're going to have a lot of fun. If you thought we had fun at the Bird, just imagine just us, 20 to 40 of us, all in one spot. All right. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to do a lot of different things. So hang in there, stay in with us. And we got to give our book away. Who's the lucky guy that gets a book today?
Oh yeah, let me choose here. So Jorge or George Gill or Jill. I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly. George Gill, you get the book.
George Gill, man. So we need your information, brother. You hung in here to the last, you get a book. Let's give one more book away. Who else won a book? Brandy just said, I want a book. Give Brandy a book.
Brandy, okay.
Brandy, you need to DM us or privately email or whatever, the host panelist. How you do that?
Email Walt.
Or Walt, put your email in there.
Nassau Media.
Yeah, Brandon and George, we get your book to you, man. We got to get your information. As always, God bless you. God keep you. And may God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, I was born to be the greatest. Yeah, I was born to be a favorite. Look, I'm on the billboard, I made it. That's what I dream every day, so I say it. Yeah, I used to be broke though, money was so used to be loco. But I was born to be the realest. Yeah, I was born to be the illest. Cause anything is possible. If you don't know it, got to go. I'm about to blow. I'm about to start the show. You try to knock me down. You try to take my crown. But look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. Yeah, you try to knock me down, but I got up somehow. Yeah, look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. Look at me now. Yeah, look at me now. Hey, hey, you cannot stop me. You cannot stop me. No. Hey, you cannot stop me. You cannot stop me. No. I come from nothing, so you know I gotta get it. 10 toes down when I walk in the building. They treat me like a prince, maybe because I'm the king, maybe because I'm the shit. But I'm humble, Kendrick. Straight out of the jungle, I'm fearless. Yeah, but you win some, you lose some. But that struggle make you true, son. Whoa. Anything is possible. If you don't know it, got to go. I'm about to blow. I'm about to start the show.